Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast or radio show, coming to you on this Thursday, August the 13th, 2020. Hopefully it finds you staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time, just like I am. I actually just got a haircut and jumped back in my car, which is about 800 degrees. So I am dripping some serious body butter from my back down my butt crack right now. And I know that's disgusting and it's more information than you wanted to hear, but I had to let you all know I'm doing this podcast from basically a sweaty diaper that I am sitting in for the next hour or so. So I'm going crazy these days. I don't even know what's going on, but that's my current situation. And before we jump into today's podcast, a reminder, our 47-day transformation is closing down enrollment in about 2 days here. So if you're listening to this and you're interested, hit me up ASAP. I'm happy to share a little podcast discount code with you if I can for everybody. And this is our flagship online program. It's something that I'm proud of. We tackle the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional sides of fitness in here. So it's a lot more than just sets and reps and nutrition, which we go real deep and hard on that. But there's a huge personal development piece, and I think now more than ever, especially this year of life, that's vital for all of us to keep our sanity and be surrounded by a badass community of humans. And honestly, the way I feel some of these days, maybe I need to go through it and listen to my younger self talk me, through this bullshit that I'm dealing with, and many of you as well. But that's available. Again, links in my IG bio, 47daytransformation.com, or reach out to me directly as quick as you can. And we'll go from there. But we're jumping on a podcast today, and again, I keep it pretty real with you guys. For the most part, I don't share all the shit that I have to deal with in my life because I don't think most of you want to hear that, and it would not be uplifting. And even though I'll keep it real with you, I don't want to make this be a let's feel sad and depressing hour. But being completely truthful, this podcast usually is a lot of fun for me to do. And it's not as fun today, just because of obviously the year that I've had so far. A lot of the public and private things that I have obviously going on with work and business, and where we stand with how we're dealing with the pandemic and all these things surrounding it. But this podcast is titled 37 Years and 37 Life Lessons. And I'm going to kind of read through the script here. I send this out in a blog format every year. It'll come out in our newsletter tomorrow morning. So if you guys are subscribed to that, you're going to see it. You can read through all of the checkpoints there. But I do a podcast on it because I do think it's important. And over the last few years, I've written a blog on my birthday, dropping, what I would like to call some real life knowledge bombs, if you will, the things I've picked up along the way. And I think these could help you guys live a more meaningful life. And, like every year, probably more so now than ever, to say 2020 hasn't gone 100% exactly as planned would be an understatement. Some of it, honestly, some things in this year have went a little bit better for me. That's kind of the silver lining. I've had some, what the hell are you doing moments. I've had some slap in the face wake up calls. I've had certain business things go great. And then I've had some things go much, much worse. Obviously, owning a gym in the state of Arizona, where I've been open basically about 3 months of the 8 months of the year, is not ideal for business. But more so than that, it's not ideal for my mental health. It's not ideal for my connectivity to people. And I really have realized that now more than ever, that it's important to me to feel like I'm growing and feel like I'm making connections with humans. As much of a mutant robot introvert as I am, it is vital that I do that. And I feel a big part of that has been taken away from me this year. I think just like a lot of you, we haven't had, I haven't seen my family this year. None of them. Not my mom, not my dad, nobody. Haven't seen many of my close friends because they're across the country. I haven't been on an airplane yet this year. And so I'm starting to feel that, disconnection, like I think a lot of you have. And that's why I always say, like, it's not about how much money you make, and it's not about a lot of these superficial things, because when all those things are going right and you still feel like it's not enough or you're not happy, that's when you really start to realize it. And I've always known that, And I know that now this year more than ever. And I guess the nice part about this, or the positive thing I can take from it, which I try to always see things glass half full, is I really realize what's important to me. And I really realize the people who give a shit about me and care about me, and I know what counts at the end of the day. And I guess that's, maybe I always knew, but now it's kind of, they nailed it home for me. And I guess, what life is about, it's about, taking your problems head on and just kicking the fucking shit out of them. And, in turn, you become a better version of yourself afterwards. And every year on August 13th, I always scroll through my life on social media and see all the places I've been and the cool things I've done and the people I've got to meet over the past 364 days. And while thus far into 2020, I haven't got to travel much or see many friends or family, it still amazes me, how badass my life really is. And even with all the shit and the stuff that many of you listening are dealing with, like myself, I'm still blessed, and that really even doesn't begin to do it justice. And I'm really thankful, every day, and I can live life on my own terms, even though a lot of things now are not as free and as open as they can be. And that's the last thing I'll add before I dig into the bones of this. I really realize that I value, freedom. I really do. Freedom to choose where I go and when I go there and how I operate there and what I do when I'm there. And having that, stripped away in parts, or having that confined, feeling like you're locked into something, it's a shitty feeling. And I think all of us are feeling it right now because we're so used to the freedoms that we've always had and the openness and kind of being able to just, at least for me anyway, I don't have kids, I'm not tied down by a lot, I can just pick up and do whatever the hell I want when I want. And I'm feeling the realness of that at the moment. So as I do this every year, I start to think about all the mistakes that I've made and the lessons that I've learned, over the past, 36 years. And it makes me want to share them with all of you. And maybe, just maybe, it can help you through some obstacles or some tough times if you're facing them right now. And if nothing else, it might let you see the world through, a different set of eyes for a minute. And albeit they're my eyes, and I've, the only thing I can give any of you who listen, and there's a lot of you who listen, which I'm still blown away by it, and I'm thankful for you guys. I appreciate that. It's insane that people, since especially now most of these podcasts are just me rambling, that so many of you tune in and listen. It is a humbling thing, and I appreciate it more than you know, even though 99% of you, I've never met you, I've never talked to you, I've never seen you, I don't know your names. I am thankful that you tune in, and I'm happy to help you any way I can. And the one thing I can say is I've fucked up a lot in my life. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of stupid things. And thankfully I've learned from most of them. And that's what this list is. Just, 37 life lessons, if you will, that I have learned on my journey so far through life. And the first one is, I don't believe in luck. I believe in opportunity and how well you're prepared for those opportunities when they arise. Because even people who play the lottery have to go buy a ticket. I think that's a big takeaway for a lot of people. Like, you have to try, and you have to put yourself in a position to be successful. Number 2, life is not fair. The sooner you realize it, the better. And I am realizing that right now. I've always known that, but man, there's a lot of things going on right now in America and in the state that I live in that I do not think are fair. Just to be completely transparent, I don't think that the gyms being closed is fair to me, especially when you can go to the casino and you can go to the strip club. I think that's completely fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, or if they think gyms should be closed forever and never open. That's your opinion. I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. But you can't rationally tell me in your brain that going to a casino and going to a strip club is somehow safer and somehow more beneficial than being able to work out with other people in a gym. Number 3, always tell the truth. Even if it's not what people want to hear, they'll be better off for it in the long run. Number 4, train as if the whole world is watching you, and see if that doesn't help you kick ass in your next workout session. I've done this for a long time, especially the days where I'm dragging ass, and admittedly during this season of life, there's been days where I'm not motivated and I really just don't want to do it. But if I can get to that mental place and act like the whole world is watching me do this and there's like an arena of people, I don't do it for them, but I tend to turn it on. And the benefit of being, me is, I guess I can still stream a lot of this on the internet. So when it's on YouTube and on Instagram, you do get a little more motivated, especially when you have hundreds of thousands of people tuning in. Number 5, don't focus on your problems. Focus on solutions to fix those problems. It'll save you precious time. And this has been hard to do, even for me during this time. But what I like to say is, I can bitch and whine and complain about it. I think that's a natural thing. I think we can all share in the, it's kind of like the old Midwest analogy I give. It's like sometimes those old Midwestern guys, it's their banter. That's how they interact. They just bitch and whine and complain and kind of razz each other. And I think that's healthy to do amongst us, especially those of us who share the same struggle. But you got to focus on solutions to the problems, because otherwise complaining and bitching and whining really won't get you anywhere. Which brings me to number 6. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And I stopped worrying about 99% of my problems years ago, and I'm a much happier person because of it. And then obviously during this season of life, some new problems have arisen, and they're still here with me, and I'm trying to navigate them the best that I can. But doing things like not watching the news and not just worrying, about every bad thing that can happen 10 miles down the road has helped me, get through this without, breaking down in tears or not headbutting a wall or punching somebody in the face. So I think I can do the same for you guys. Number 7, don't wait for things to happen, because they never will. You need to go and get off your ass and go make them happen. Number 8, the best time to start changing your eating and training habits is right now. And I guess the best time would have been yesterday. The second best time would be today. I don't think you should ever procrastinate or put anything off, ever, especially when it comes to your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Number 9, never compare how you look to others you see in magazines, on TV, or the gym. We're all dealt a different genetic card, and our own personal bests and ideals will differ wildly. And I think if you're a person who's put any time into changing their physical appearance, you really have to let that hit home. You're not going to look like the person on Instagram. You're not going to look like the person on YouTube or your neighbor or the person that you train with. You're going to look the best that you can look for your genetics, and you got to be okay with that. And you cannot like body parts, and that's fine. And you can work, healthily and safely to change them, but you can't be your own harshest critic, and you can't be your own worst enemy in terms of, body awareness and body love. It's a real thing, and a lot of people are hating on themselves for no good reason and holding themselves to unrealistic ideals and standards. So please, if you're one of those humans, stop doing that. Number 10, I read once, you're the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. And I think back on my life, and I look at my life now, and I find this to be scary and also true. And I love every person that I've been associated with, and they've all served a purpose, and hopefully we've, created great friendships and bonds. But man, if you're hanging out with a certain kind of crowd and you look around and they're not the kind of crowd you want to be with, just know that you are probably the average of those people, and maybe it's time to level up. Number 11, you can't help people unless they're willing to help themselves. I have found that you can't want to reach someone else's goals more than they do. And I think a lot of us in fitness are guilty of this. We meet people and we want them to be successful so bad, and we'll overextend and we'll do anything we can, but you can't want it more than they do. That goes for anybody kicking addiction. That goes for anybody, trying to level up their career, anybody trying to, eat a little bit better, be a little more active. You can't do anything unless they really want to make it happen. You can wish for it all you want. You can put them in a position to be successful. You can lead a horse to water, as they say, but you can't make them drink. Number 12, there is no magic pill. Hard work and clean eating trumps all. So buckle up for a tough ride and just enjoy the journey, man, to a better body and a better life, and understand, it's tough, but that's kind of the beauty in it, and that everybody can't do it, and you can't, buy a membership to this club, You can't, shortcut it with surgeries and all these things. You have to just work for it. There is no magic solution. And I think there is true beauty in that. Number 13, educating yourself is the best investment you can make. I'll stand by that statement till the day I die. Making yourself the commodity, making yourself the linchpin in any organization or just your life in general is the best investment you can ever make. Number 14, get out of your comfort zone. Do something you're uncomfortable with. And I understand like doing something that we're not comfortable with is difficult. And at first, in certain cases, it seems like it's impossible. However, the best personal growth I've ever made, physically, socially, emotionally, is by me stepping way out of my comfort zone and doing a lot of things that don't naturally come innate to me, albeit being on a podcast and spitting this into a camera as I watch myself. So if you're on YouTube, I appreciate you guys, but this was not natural to me. So getting out of my comfort zone, sharing my story and my struggles and my fuck ups in hopes that it can help even one of you has been probably the biggest blessing in my professional life during this time. And also just there is some cathartic, moments I have while doing this. And it definitely is not inside my comfort zone. Now I'm comfortable with it 350 episodes later. But I think a lot of you, the walls you build up to protect you, they also imprison you. And you got to break those things down in certain circumstances so you can, elevate or, morph into the person you're supposed to be. Number 15, instead of bitching about what you don't have, sit back and appreciate all the things that you do have. Odds are, it's much more than you think. And this is one that I have been coming back to over and over and over again during this time. And to my wife as well, I've, said it to her multiple times. This year hasn't been kind, to us as a team and the community and everything we have here. But instead of complaining about it every single day, I really do need to be appreciative of all the things that I have, because there's so many people out there who are struggling on multiple levels, much worse than anything that I'm ever going to face. And I'm thankful, to be able to be in this position. So I try not to sound like a whiny asshole. And again, on the same note, I don't want to sit here and make it sound like everything is, rainbows and sunshine, because that would not be true either. And that's why I try to kick the real to all of you guys. And I hope you do the same and understand that, yeah, you might be dealing with some shit right now, but you probably got some pretty badass things going on as well. And I always say it, I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm healthy. I'm fit. My mind works. I have people who love me and care about me. And at the end of the day, like, that's a lot to be thankful for. Number 16, under promise and over deliver. Never make promises you can't keep, both in business and your personal life. Number 17, at least once a year, get wasted drunk with your best friends. And man, I have not done that this year. And usually that's about July 4th. I didn't get to play the NOP tourney this year. Didn't get to go back. And hopefully we can still do some type of thing before the year is over. Because I do think, even if you don't need to get wasted, but I think, letting loose is a better way to phrase that with your good friends is important. And it's part of the things that we remember the most as we go through the journey of life here. Number 18, set goals with deadlines on them. Accountability is a powerful tool if you use it correctly. Number 19, there is more to life than fitness competitions, photo shoots, and working out. Your life is about balance, and the better you can manage it, the happier, more well-rounded person you'll be. That's for all my diehard fitness people out there. And I think maybe this year might be the year that people realize, like, wow, there's more to life than just the vanity metrics that we place so much importance on. Not saying it isn't important, but there's way more to life than I think a lot of us have realized. And hopefully this is the year where we can come to grips with that, because man, my fitness people, some of you guys are just absolutely crazy with what you obsess over. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying, I used to make it be the end all be all of everything. And then I remember David Jack shared with me the one time, he said, hey, we're at dinner, me, him, and BJ, and Dave Jack goes to me and said, Jeremy, if your body was taken away from you today, would you be okay? If this thing you've created, this body, this mold was taken away from you and you could not work out anymore and you just, looked like a normal, healthy, person, like 100, the normal 170-pound dude who didn't really look like he trained, but just like maybe we'd go on a couple runs and do some stuff in area, like, would you be okay? And I didn't really know how to answer that to him, and I think I would struggle with it, but I tried to be more than just, a person who exercises. And for a lot of my fitness people, we put a lot of time into this, and it's important to us, and it matters because it's like it's your own artwork, right? Like your body is your sculpture, and you're trying to mold it and shape it and create it. But there is more to life than that, and I think there's a fine line between where your fitness steals your fitness, and I've talked about this many times before, and just being so obsessive and so neurotic about body parts and being this lean. And again, it's important, but it's not the end all be all of your life. And at the end of the day, that might be a huge part of who you are and what you do, but that's not what people will remember you for, at least the ones who are closest to you. Number 20, if you care about people, tell them you love them, and tell them often, because they won't be around forever, and neither will you. And I've tried to get much better at this. Obviously, the older I get, and as my parents get older and people in my life, become sick and different things, I really try to do that. And I really try to reach out, whether it be on the phone or digitally or something, because it matters. And it matters not just to you, but it matters to them. Number 21. Odds are you won't regret the things that you did do, but more likely the things that you didn't do. I think we can all agree on that one. Number 22. Never compromise who you are for what you want to be or where you're trying to go. The most valuable character trait you have is your integrity. So hold on to it tightly and never lose it. And I think during crazy times like this, that might be hard for many people, but I urge you to just stay true to who you are and do what you think is best for everybody involved. And I know it's tough. I run a service business. I work with a lot of people from a lot of walks of life, a lot of different groups, big groups, small groups. And there's a lot of people who think I probably sometimes don't make the right decisions in terms of what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to handle this season of life in terms of a business, right? And I'm a human. I'm doing the best I can with the cards I'm dealt. These are some shit cards right now. And so anybody listening, just know like I'm doing the best for everybody and whatever I think I can do to help all of you. Because it's tough, man. And I'm getting a lot of advice during this about, Jeremy, you should just open the gym up, fuck the government, all these things. I get that, I really do, but I have to live with me. And I have to live with my decisions and all the responsibility and all the blame and all the fines and the things, those things would fall on me. And I'm gonna be around a lot longer than the pandemic is and these restrictions are and all these crazy things that are going on. So I have to hold true to myself with that. And you guys have to do the same. And I know right now it's kind of a polarizing time where people are at opposite ends of the spectrum and they're sharing a lot of things and they're saying a lot of things, and that's fine. But I don't want you to alienate people in your life and try to, I guess what I'm saying is, in this weird time of life, don't say and do things that are going to change the way that people think about you, the way that they look at you, and the way that you're going to be perceived for the rest of your life. Because of a small, albeit longer than I want, season, it will pass and we'll all still be here. And so take that for what it is. And on a side note, like when I get business advice from people, I appreciate everything people share, but unless you've like ran a fitness business during a pandemic and you live in my brain and you feel the weight that I feel and the empathy that I feel, the advice really doesn't hold water. I would never give a restaurant owner advice during this because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I think that a lot of people right now, have opinions on everything that we should do, and I do as well. And there is no, perfect answer. There is no great solution. I'm just trying to do the best that I can for everybody that I serve and work with to the best of my ability, and I'm trying to do that while keeping my, character and my integrity intact, and I'll never let that go, no matter what. Number 23. My greatest success so far in life has come from taking huge risks, diving into the unknown with a kind of 50-50 chance at best of failure. And it's in those kind of sink or swim moments you find out what kind of person you really are. And I think, right now more than ever, I'm finding that out. And I've learned the lesson. If you're listening, whether you believe in God, the universe, source energy, unicorn tears, I've learned the lesson. So hopefully we can get past this shit and keep moving forward. Number 24. It's never too late to start anything. I don't care if you're 19 or 97. You have the rest of your life to pursue your dreams and passions. And almost anything is possible if you want it bad enough and you're willing to work your ass off for it. I truly believe that. I think a lot of you are much more capable than you realize. And again, I think a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we think that, we don't have the resources or the education or it's too late in life. And for very few people do I believe that. Number 25, don't live your life in the rear view. You can't change what happened last week, last month, or last year. So you got to get over it and move forward, or you're going to miss what's happening right now. And, I can sit and wish things were the way they were in 2019 in August, but the reality is they're not. And there's no magic wand I can do, or, I don't know Doc Brown, although my boy Dennis Gary with his hair is starting to look like Doc Brown. But I don't have a Doc Brown. I can't hop in a DeLorean and go back, in time and, change the future. So I just have to move forward, and I can't miss the beauty of life right now. Albeit it might not be ideal, there is still beautiful moments and beautiful people I can associate with every single day. Number 26, cardio sucks. End of story. Number 27, if you're lucky enough to find a beautiful woman or man who can deal with your shit and all your issues, hold on to them and appreciate them and tell them that you love them daily. So Heather, I love you, and you're stuck in this shit show with me here, and I guess there's no better person I'd rather be stuck in this mess with. Although sometimes you go a little crazy. And I'm sure there's days where you want to punch me in my face too. But I'm happy to be stuck in this hot mess with you together, albeit it has not been super fun. I think, we've tried to make, the best of it. So I love you and I appreciate you. Number 28, treat people exactly how you want to be treated every single day of your life. Number 29, enjoy your health. And understand it's the most precious gift you've ever been given. And I wish that would be the message during all this. Before every news conference, before every, commercial of, wear a mask and distance and all these things, I wish they would say, understand the most precious gift you're ever going to be given is your health. So eat right and get sleep and exercise and take care of this machine that you're running through life with, because you're not getting another one. And hopefully you guys share this podcast with friends and family, and that is a message that they'll take away from it. Number 30, see your life for what it is. Not worse than it is, but instead see it for exactly what it is. If you can do that, which many people can't, I'll ask you to take it one step further and see your life better than it is. It's that mind sight, it's that vision, that belief in yourself, that internal demand you put on yourself that nobody else could ever do. That's going to allow you to create, any life that you choose to live. And if you can do that, you can start building a life, your own life, one that can be something that would seem impossible at some point. But if you're willing to really understand how lucky you are and where you stand in the world of 8 billion people, and if you realize if you're listening to me on $1,000 phone, You might have took a lot of L's this year, but you still got a lot of resources and you know a lot of people and you can do a lot of amazing things. And it might be on pause, it might be slowed down for the moment, but I promise you, you can get there. Number 31, how you spend your time is more important than the money you have in the bank. So spend your time doing what you love, doing things you enjoy, doing things you're passionate about each and every day. It's never too late to start really loving and living your life. Think about it. What's more important to you? How you spend your money or how you spend your time? And only you guys can answer that. Number 32, have sincere gratitude every day you wake up. Take at least a few minutes each day to be mindful of your blessings and understand most of the world would love to have your quote unquote luxury problems. The reality is 2/3 of the world lives on about $2 a day. That's a real stat. I'm not making that up. Millions of people would drink your toilet water because it's cleaner and safer than their current option. So understand you have so much more than so many others. You have to find gratitude and practice gratitude. And if you can do that consistently and be in touch with reality and have perspective on where you rank in the world, you're gonna watch your life change pretty quick. Or at least when you're having those shit moments and you feel, like everything is coming crashing down, and it may feel that way right now, you're still luckier than a lot of people. And if you're not having to drink toilet water, if that's not your best option, you do have it better than so many others. Number 33, don't rush the seasons. In life, we get anxious and impatient, constantly chasing the future. We become so focused on the season ahead, oftentimes we miss the season we are in. And I mean, right now, I gotta share this. I did see a funny picture today. Somebody shared it. It looked like a NyQuil, except it was like for a year. So it'd be like, I forget the name of it, but it was like this NyQuil brand where you take this and you go to sleep until like 2021, when hopefully, we're in a better spot than we're in now. And so I know a lot of us want to rush through this season of life, but there's lessons to be learned in it, even though it sucks ass, and I feel you on that. I have learned a lot of important things during this, but in a normal setting, not during this nonsense we're in. If you are always focused on the future, you do miss the current season of life you're in. And I mean that with not just your career, but with your friends, your family, and your kids. And we can't rush life. As much as we might want to fast forward through this horse shit, like what's the Adam Sandler movie where it's like he was like Click or Remote or something, where he had the remote and he could like flash forward his life and it fucked everything up. Albeit I wanted to scrub forward a little bit, during this time frame. You can't rush life. You just got to take the seasons as they come, and you have to enjoy them while they're here, and be ready when your season of life arrives. And that's your time to shine. And the other ones, for lack of a better term, you just got to weather the storm as best you can, or what I like to say, you got to eat the shit as it comes. And then I shared this on the podcast the other day. I feel like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption, breaking out of prison, trudging 500 yards Army crawl style through all the human waste. And hopefully we're, on the back nine of the shit eating here, but we can't rush it as much as, even I would like. Number 34, we're all very similar. From the richest to the poorest and the struggling to the most successful. None of us really has life figured out. There isn't one magic day you just wake up and suddenly, quote unquote, you get it. All of us, including myself, deep down are just kids playing adult, and it's a lifelong process of failing and learning and improving. So if you feel like right now you're lost, you're unsure, you're scared, and you don't know what you should be doing with your life, trust me, you are not alone, my friends. Every single one of us feels it now and then, and that's what makes us a real human. And I think now, more than ever, a lot of us are self-questioning and maybe confused and lost. And maybe our life was on one trajectory and now it's on another. And maybe this has caused us to pause and slow down and shift gears or change careers or, make a move. We used to live in this city, now we live in this city. We used to think we always wanted to be in a downtown area, now we want to be, in a log cabin in the woods. I've done a lot of self-questioning during this, and I'll get to my last share here in a couple posts, but there's a lot of things this has made me realize, and I'll get to it. I don't want to jump ahead, but just understand it. If you do feel like, I don't know what I'm doing next, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Like Trish was asking me this morning, Trish, it's funny, she's in HR, and she's like one of the most inappropriate people I've ever met. Weird how that works. She's like the opposite of Toby. Toby sucks. Trish is cool. But she was asking me this morning as we're doing our workouts at 5:15, and she's like, where's Heather taking you tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Some people are like, I don't know what I'm doing for my life, Jeremy. I don't know what I'm doing with my career. You guys, it's August 13th. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing tomorrow. I really don't. I don't know what I'm doing Saturday. I know I have some tasks to do, but I have no clue. I literally have been taking things day by day here. I have so few things planned for the year, other than a couple online coaching programs. Nothing else do I have a clue where I'll be at and what the hell I'm going to be doing. And there is some freedom in that. And there's some discomfort in that because I'm a planner, I'm a type A person. But so man, if you feel lost, dude, I'm right there with you, dude. I really am. And I can look in this video and I can see that I'm gonna be 37, but I still feel like the 17-year-old kid, walking into, Cotter High School with, a hoodie, jeans, and a pair of Jordans on, not within the dress code, by the way. And I still feel like that 17-year-old kid. I got more responsibilities now. I deal with more shit, and I've messed up a lot along the way, and I got a lot more scars and bruises, but I still feel like I'm 17. And I don't know if that ever goes away. And I don't know if there'll ever be a day where I wake up and I feel like I have it all figured out. And I think that the smarter I get and the older I get, the less I know, and then the less I have figured out. Number 35, enjoy the present and every day as the massive gift that it is. Don't always fix it in the future. Please don't live in the past. We must enjoy today, right now, even on the toughest days, because that's the journey of life, man. Our life is not just weekends and vacations and parties and special events. Sure, that makes up 10 to 20% of it, but the bulk of our existence is the other stuff, the middle, the 80-90% of your normal Monday through Friday routine. So if you can, try to work a job you love. Try to spend time with people you enjoy, and make sure you're doing shit you love every day, at least a little bit. And start focusing more on enjoying and loving the 80 to 90% of your life. The things like, maybe the random Wednesday night with your wife or the Thursday afternoon with your kids. And stop just working for the fucking weekend and start loving the everyday, even, the weekdays. And if you do that for your whole life, it'll change everything for the better. And I think a lot of us get wrapped up in just vacations and just quote unquote escaping. And admittedly, I've never felt like I wanted to escape, my life. Although there is times during this, shit that we've been dealing with for the last 6 months where I wanted to, just kind of escape it and run away from it. And it's a really sad thing. I don't think it's sad for everybody, but it's sad for me, the fact that I felt that way, where I'm like, I just don't want to deal with this shit anymore, this ever-changing fuckery that's been going on. I'm like, I just don't want to deal with this shit. But I was born super broke, so I don't got $20 million to go hide. And I know that's just a short-term solution to anything. And I know that wouldn't make me happy, and I know that's where I don't want to be, and I'm getting ahead of myself on these steps here. But just understand, in your life, you have to start appreciating the daily moments, the daily hustle, the daily grind. You can't always just be wishing and praying for the weekend and the special occasions and the events. And those things are amazing and they're important. Never let them go. But you have to love the other stuff too. Otherwise, it becomes a really unfulfilling life and you find yourself wishing away, days and months and weeks, and that's not a healthy place to be. Number 36. Do things today for yourself that the future you, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, will thank you for. This applies to paying off debt today, if you can. Investing in your retirement savings. Making foam rolling and mobility a daily practice. Even when you're not sore. Getting ahead of it. Changing your eating habits, your drinking habits, your sleeping habits, so you can live the healthiest, happiest life possible today, but also decades from now. The basic phrase, if you'll make the sacrifices now that most people won't, later on you'll be able to live a life that those folks will never be able to live. And if you live like no one else, as Dave Ramsey sometimes says, later on you can live like no one else. And I think when I wrote this one, it was a year ago today. That would have been tip number 36. And when I wrote that, I was heavy into the, I still listen to I listened to probably 2 or 3 podcasts over and over and over again, like the same shit. Like the Dave Ramsey podcast essentially is the same. It really never changes. Now there'll be different tips. There is certain investment things you can rip from there. The other day they were talking about, rental properties and exchanging them as you get closer to retirement age. So there is things I do learn on there, which I do like. And like Rogan's will come on and a couple of different people. But a year ago today, I was really heavy into the Ramsey stuff because we were on our debt-free journey. And I'm not judging anybody. If you guys use debt and leverage it correctly for your business or your job and that's helped you, make money and you scale it, I think that's all great. I'm a basic dude. I'm the most basic dude you'll ever meet. I just don't like a lot of overhead. I don't like a lot of debt hanging over me. I like to just, live simply, and that's worked for me. And when I wrote this a year ago, we were heavy into the pay off our house stuff. And my goal a year ago today was to have my house paid off before my 37th birthday. And when I got into it, like everything else, I got hyped up. My wife will tell you. I got, extremely focused. I worked harder last year than any other year of my life. And oddly enough, until this year, which I've had to just fucking hold this shit together the best I can. And I drove myself almost crazy and to the point of exhaustion most times because it was so dead set on paying my house off before my next birthday. And as fate would have it, we ended up paying off our house 1 month before all this shit happened. So in February, we paid off our house and became, debt free, which was super cool, and I'm super thankful. And that's something that I knew I'd be thankful for 5, 10, 15, 25 years from now. I didn't know I'd be thankful for it a month into my future because it has been a huge blessing during all of this. And so that's why I say, obviously my wife working in hospitality, losing her job, and, me working in fitness, having the world tell you, fuck you, Jeremy, close your gym down and don't do it, which is a huge, part of the revenue that we create here. I guess that's why, I'm a very lucky person, if you will, because the timing, couldn't have worked out better. And I don't know, I'm thankful, I guess, for that. And that, if you want to make sacrifices now, you guys, that most people won't later, you'll be able to live and feel like a lot of other people can't feel. And I feel very, as unlucky or as shitty as this has been all around for my wife and I do it from a position that very few other people are in. And so as bad as it sucks, I guess because we lived like nobody else, we're not feeling the exact same stress and strain as everyone else. We still feel it, but not at the same level, and I'm very thankful for that. And that goes to show, if you, do things today that your future self will thank you for, I think you're going to be very, very appreciative of it and say, thank you, Jeremy from a year ago. And at least that's where I'm at today. And the last one, before I let you guys go, number 37. I thought about this, a lot before I wrote it, and even today, man, like, it's just weird how this whole year of life has worked. Like, it's cathartic in this podcast for me, but I felt like shit today. I felt great this morning. Worked out with our people at 5:15 in the park. It lit me up. I felt the workout was good. It was hard. I didn't like doing it during it, but I felt great afterwards. And just seeing humans and being able to bullshit with them, it just puts me in a good mood. And then I come into work and I got to deal with a lot of shit and just stuff that admittedly is not very fun for me. And it's just a lot of things I didn't like, and just made me just, I don't mean like sad, like I was sitting gonna cry and like depressed. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like you have this, it's like this sadness that's just like, it's like stuck in you and you can't fucking get rid of it. And normally in life, I'm able to just, I can say something to myself, I can listen to music, I can watch something, I can do something, and it can just go away. But this doesn't go away. And I had it, most of the day today for some reason. And I'll have it like in the morning when I wake up. And I'll have it sometimes at night when I go to sleep. And then there'll be moments where I forget about everything. And I'm like, wow, dude, your life is fucking badass. And then it'll remind me that it's not what we're used to. And so I thought long and hard about this before I put it out. And number 37 is that I've realized in the last 6 months that it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to be sad at times during this. It's okay to have bad days. And I've been there in 2020 more than any of you guys are going to know. I'm not going to share all the stuff here. And I share that for the fact of, I think a lot of times we think like, oh, we should be able to just wash past it and always see, the glass half full. And when you're in a shit show, like a shit storm, it's tough to really see that. And I just want to know, if you're listening, it's okay to not be okay some of these days. And it's okay to have some sadness. If you don't, and during all this you've never had a bad day and you've never felt a little bit off and you've never felt a little bit sad, you are a serial killer. Like, you were way more of a Dexter than I ever could be. And I like to think I'm immune to a lot of things, and I like to feel that a lot of things don't affect me, and a lot of things don't. But what I've come to realize is that I feel empathy for other people. I feel sadness for people I don't even fucking know. And it's a gift, I guess, but it's also like a curse. When I see 30% of restaurants here will close, I feel a sadness for them because I know what goes into building something from nothing. And I feel for that. Or when like, hey, this many people have died, I feel a sadness for that. Or these people couldn't go to say goodbye to a loved one. They couldn't go to a funeral. They couldn't do this. There's a fucking sadness in that I feel for people. And I just want you to know, if you're seeing things, hey, stop watching the news. Our brains aren't equipped to handle everything at scale, but it's okay to have a bad day. And the key is, at least for me, is I didn't just sit and cry in the fucking corner about it. Because these rough days have only affirmed for me like how powerful the human spirit is when it comes to that kind of fight or flight, right? And sure, there's times, to escape and just step back and do whatever, but we have a choice to fight and rise up through the shit in our way, or we can fly away and hide and cry in self-pity. And I'm not judging anybody for what route you choose to take, but I found out that the more you're willing to fight, the stronger you're going to become. And at least that's been my personal experience this year, because I easily could have folded 14 different times and taken the easy route and just shuttered and did whatever. And funny enough, I'll share this because this is not written down and you're not going to find this on the blog or the email. But I got a guy next to me here over in the building, and he has a bigger even space than I do. And he had sent me an email today, and he's just like, hey, Jeremy, we're outgrowing our space. Would you be interested in selling, your facility to us? He goes, I hope you're able to make it through this shitty time of life in the year, but I'm just offering. And him and I exchanged a nice dialogue back and forth. And, I guess I share that for the fact of, it's been a weird, strange year. And I easily could sell my building to him. I'm sure he'd pay me, fair price for it, or even top dollar, because the real estate here is crazy. And I'd have, hundreds of thousands of dollars in my pocket, because this thing has appreciated like fucking crazy since I've been here. And I could probably just go on the internet, sell my house in Scottsdale, which again is appreciated like crazy, move up, buy a couple acres, live in a log cabin, and become Ron Swanson or Bob Lee Swagger. I'm more probably like Bob Lee Swagger than Ron Swanson, but I'm a little bit of both. Anyways, my point is that I can't run away from the shit just because it's uncomfortable in the moment. And I know that's the easier route. That's the easier answer. I would have less stress up front. Things would be much simpler. They'd be slowed down. But I know when it's all said and done, I wouldn't be happy doing that. It wouldn't be the right decision long term. For sure, for the next 3, 6, 12 months, that'd be much easier, and it'd be very basic. And but I know that's not it. And so I'm going to choose to fight and just push through the shit for all the people who want to be here and want to work with us and work with me and be part of what we're doing here, and all of you listening and everybody in between. And so if you find yourself right now in that kind of, sink or swim, fight or flight moment, I can't tell you what's right for you in your situation. But what I've found out is the more you're willing to fight, the stronger you're going to become. And at least that's been my experience. And I know, even though this has been stressful and painful at times this year, I gotta believe that when I come out of the other side, I'm gonna have so much amazing content, and I'm gonna share so much shit with you guys that I'm not sharing right now. And I'm going to get so many amazing podcast guests on here, so we can just so you will feel the sense of like when I hiked the Grand Canyon, rim to rim to rim, like the sense of wow, I feel like I got the shit kicked out of me and I have no energy, but now I feel like I'm fucking unstoppable. And I want all of you to feel that as well. And that's part of what keeps me, going every day, is just knowing that I'm going to come out the other side. And it's going to suck shit still. And it's going to be a hard thing to build back and navigate and figure out. And I don't know what it looks like. But I know if I do that, I'm going to feel like, Chuck fucking Liddell in his prime. Like I can just knock out anybody. Like, I know that is coming for me, and I want that to be coming to all of you as well. So, many times, obviously, we get caught up in our own little worlds, and we forget, what's important, and we sometimes forget what matters the most. And I just want all of you to enjoy the journey, because that's all there really is, right? That's all it is your book, and when you die, at the end of your life, all it's going to be about is that dash. What did you do, between the numbers? What did you do in that dash? And life is about all of it, everything, the good and the bad, the laughs, the cries, the accomplishments, the failures, and everything in between along the way. And so I just want to thank all of you guys who listen to the madness that comes out of my mouth. And I want to thank all of you who read and support the things that we do here at Jeremy Scott Fitness, whether you're a member here, whether you do stuff online, whether you just listen to the podcast and, siphon off all our free shit. If we've helped you at all, I appreciate you. And I thank you for that. And hopefully a few of the things here inspire you, or at least make you view or see or think about things a little bit differently. And if you're in a shithole right now, hopefully I threw you a verbal rope you could grab and pull yourself out. That would that would make me feel amazing if I played any small part in that. And if you truly want to give me a birthday gift, simply share this podcast, share the blog post, share the email, forward it along, to your inner circle, to your circle of people, to your coworkers, if they don't mind inappropriate language and craziness. Because if it can make a difference, in their day and in their life, that'd be the greatest gift I could get, today and any day moving forward. So if you got a friend or family member who you think could use a little kick of the reel, forward this along, and I'd appreciate you guys for that. And so again, I can't say it enough. I sincerely thank all of you who listen and watch and tune into all our stuff, because if it wasn't for you guys, I for surely wouldn't do it. And oddly enough, even though a lot of times this is a one-way conversation that maybe isn't ideal for me, I'm happy it helps all of you. And just know I'm more than grateful for the opportunity to be able to have your ear for an hour, or at this point probably 400, 500, 600 hours. And so thanks sincerely. So if you happen to be on iTunes right now, stop. Don't be a lazy ass. Go to your podcast app on your iPhone, scroll your finger all the way down, drop me a 5-star, leave a comment. I truly would appreciate it. And if there's anything else we can do for you guys or record it, I'm happy to do so. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for subscribing. It means the world to us. And I truly hope you all have an amazing August the 14th, if you're listening to it then, or if you're actually one of those people who listens to them right when they come out. I hope you enjoy this Thursday evening. And I think tomorrow I'm going to pop in here, get a workout, clean up some shit I'm dealing with, which just seems, it's like normal life. No matter how many times you poop, I think the poop just keeps on coming. Even when you think it's all gone, it still keeps showing up. And that's kind of where I'm at right now with business life. But I'll do it with a smile, and I'll do it the best way I can. And again, if you guys are interested in working with us on a deeper level, our 47-day transformation is kicking off here in 2 days. I'd be happy to work with you in there on all things fitness, nutrition, and everything wrapped around the personal development piece of who you are and who you want to be. So 47daytransformation.com, or hit me up. I'll give you a small podcast discount code if I can help you make it a little bit easier to work with us and our amazing community of humans, which I'm more than blessed to be a part of. So have an amazing rest of your Thursday night. Stay safe, stay sweaty, and until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy, because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.